Plainville Water and Light Commission special meeting, and I will call this meeting to order. Trina, could you do a roll call?
Yes, Mayor Hill?
Here. And I will call this meeting to order.
Did we lose you? Trina, you okay?
Was there?
There's an echo.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like it's better now.
Trina's on mute, it looks like.
She is.
I was seeing
Okay.
if I was the reason. Okay, I think we're better now. Here comes Jody as well.
Okay, great. Okay, welcome, Jody. We've called the meeting to order and we're just going through roll call. Welcome, Jody. We're just going through roll call. So go ahead, Trina.
Mayor Hill,
Here.
Commissioner Tankersley,
Here.
Commissioner Gormley,
Here.
Commissioner Christensen,
Here.
Commissioner Tate.
Here.
Thank you, Trina, and thank you, Commission, for making time available to address a concern. And so we're looking this morning at exemption from a competitive bid process for 2023 transformer purchases. And so with that, I know, Chad, you're here to give us the information. You've given a staff report to us. I don't know whether John or anyone else wants to kind of set up the thing before Chad takes place. So, John, if we just go to Chad, okay, Chad, go ahead. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor and Commission. I really appreciate you guys taking the time this morning to meet. Hope everybody has their cup of coffee if they drink coffee. I'm working on my first cup. As everybody's probably aware, when they go to the grocery store or whatever, prices are kind of, inflated right now. Supply, if you look at the grocery stores, a lot of things there's not on the shelf. We're kind of dealing with the same thing in the utility industry and many industries. We've been very fortunate here at Water and Light that we stayed ahead of it as far as our inventories go. We kind of saw it early on. We ramped up inventories, so actually right now we look pretty good. With that, we just don't know how long this is going to last. Kind of news through the industry is all the way through 24, and probably a good portion of 24 is kind of when we see a little bit of turn possibly. So while we're good right now, that leaves us exposed for a good year, 2 years of construction moving forward, and the needing of transformers. So the last time we went out for a transformer bid, most of the items that we got back were no quotes. Manufacturers just weren't quoting, just to the volatility of the market or at capacity. So that's been really trying. And the quotes that we did receive, where the lead times were outlandish, up to 2 years, and anywhere from 5 to 8 times the price that we've been paying for under normal market conditions. So we've just been kind of in a holding pattern. Like I said, our supply has been good. And have been conversation with ERMCO, which is one of our major manufacturers. And it kind of alarmed us a little bit when we started getting no quotes from ERMCO, because they've traditionally been, low bid, really good quality item. And so we've been in conversation a lot. And they said that basically they're at 100% capacity in 2022. They don't know what 2023 is going to look like. And I said, well, let us know. And so that actually paid off for us. And we did get a call last week informing us that they're opening slots for 2023 allotments, basically production slots. They said it's not a bid thing. If you want to hop on board, that's great. If not, we're going to keep on moving. The downside, if we don't go with ERMCO, at least regarding ERMCO specific, is that if we try to throw out a spot bid, we kind of rolling the dice, and hopefully they have a couple open slots and they can fit us in. And And so that's kind of where that's at. So today we're seeking an exemption from a competitive bid process to capture some of those production slots with ERMCO. That way we kind of get aligned for 2023 production. And so this is something we've never used before here. Special procurements actually happen quite often. We just haven't had a reason to use them. And so we're looking for a contract specific special procurement, which is a procedure that differs from the normal purchasing activities for the purpose of entering into a single contract or on a one-time basis for a single project. And so that's what we're looking at today. The downside, okay, sorry, go ahead, Tom.
Chad, I have a quick question here. If it's not just the price, but are you concerned that we won't be able to get the transformers we need if we don't do this?
That's a very real possibility. Correct.
Okay.
We are receiving, it's really random, and talking with other utilities too, they'll send it out and they'll get one bid and then like 4 or 5 no quotes, but the prices are extremely elevated. And so the thing with the ERMCO is there's no guarantee on price. It is just allotment only. We're getting in line for transformers to be manufactured for us. The comfort that I take in that is that the last time we actually did buy transformers, it was January of this year for single phase pole mounts. ERMCO quoted, and so did 2 other of their competitors. Just kind of price differential was about 50% lower, ERMCO was. So on one of them, 50 kVA pole mount, ERMCO came in at $1,970. The next closest bid was $3,310. And so with conversations that I've had with ERMCO, is they're not going to quote if they can't produce. They're not going to price gouge, so to speak. They're just going to say, we can't produce it. We're at capacity. And so I take a little comfort in that and having our relationship that we've had for many years. The difference too, to throw in there a little bit, is they've sold direct to us for, well, forever. ERMCO has. I think kind of through these trying times, they've partnered with General Pacific, who's one of our largest distributors in electrical. And they're actually going to be selling through distribution. So the allotments now are actually going through General Pacific and not ERMCO direct. So if we decided to move forward with this today, the purchase orders would actually be going through General Pacific. So,
Chad, this is.
Go ahead, Sam.
I was just going to ask Chad about the aspect. I think we talked about yesterday the aspect of getting in the production stream. The other thing is, if we don't do this, there's some risk that we're essentially going to lose our spot in production, and that's something we've had an ongoing history with ERMCO, and so we've been purchasing on an annual basis from them. So if we don't get in this production line, we may lose our position there. Is that right?
With ERMCO, that is correct. Yeah. So basically, you can eliminate our biggest provider of transformers if we don't decide to go with allotment today. There is a possibility, like a slight possibility, we can send out a spot quote or bid, and if they happen to have a couple slots available for us, they can help us out, but they're not guaranteeing anything.
Ed, you had your hand up.
Chad, this is in anything related to manufacturing these days and stuff, and we see allocations. Ferguson's the biggest wholesaler in North America, and the PEX piping in that is allocation. If I called up and wanted 100 half-inch elbows, I might get 10 or 20. It's just crazy. But does this manufacture for all over the world, or just continental United States?
Just continental United States. They're in Dyersburg, Tennessee.
Ah, okay. So yeah, I mean, I know what you're going through, and we see that with all kinds of equipment. So, and getting a manufacturing spot is key. So good for you.
And Chad, isn't ERMCO also a co-op?
They are a co-op, yes. And so they're kind of going back to the roots. So is General Pacific. So General Pacific's a co-op as well. And so what ERMCO has done is they've distributed their allotments to 7 different co-ops. So those co-ops they're all distributors, but they'll be handing the allotments. And so they're not taking bids or RFPs or anything for these allotments. What essentially they're doing is they're picking up the phone and calling some of their better customers. And we've had really strong relationships with them, and it's bearing fruit right now that we did get a phone call. So
Good.
That's kind of where we're at.
Well, it's a nice. You should feel proud of what you've done to put us in that position. So congratulations.
Chad, another question I have, in that we're going to be going through a distributor, General Pacific, is there additional cost to go through a distributor as compared to going direct with ERMCO before?
Yes, and so that will be something. There'll be additional costs. I mean, yeah, essentially, quote unquote, that third party, that middle person. Now, so they're there to make a little bit of money too. And as with everything, you're starting to see fuel surcharges and all that kind of stuff. We're not immune to that, entering into this. This is not a contract. There's no contract signed, but it's a good faith commitment that if we just say yes, we're going to do this, that we got to do it. In my mind, basically, what ends up happening is there's not a contract between ERMCO and General Pacific either. But if General Pacific does not meet their allocation requirement that they've been given, they get a 25. They get penalized by ERMCO. So if we commit to General Pacific, I think that we really need to stand by our commitment because it will impact one of our closest distributors that we work with.
Okay, well, sounds good. Appreciate it, and certainly understand the struggle you've got.
Chad, and General Pacific is not only transformers. What other materials do we buy from them?
From ERMCO?
No, from General Pacific.
We buy everything on the electric side. Well, except for like substation stuff. But yeah, all of our pole line hardware, transformers. And another thing too, General Pacific's actually they represent Howard, which is one of the major transformer manufacturers as well. So just kind of FYI. But they do have, everything out in our warehouse, they distribute to us. So
our underground,
we have a really strong relationship with them.
Our underground cable as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Which is another item that is kind of going bonkers right now.
Yeah. Conduit, I'm sure your PVC and stuff is just,
Yep.
I got notice of an 8% increase yesterday from Charlotte. So, yeah.
Yep.
Kathy, you had your hand up.
Well, I was just going to note that in the document, it talked about that the pricing is going to be set 12 weeks before delivery, and there's the option to opt out if, the pricing isn't there. I would assume that at that time when the pricing came out, would you look for something else before you took the pricing, or at that point we're committed unless the price is not what we want it to be?
To me, what I do moving forward is I would probably get the price from them, see what it is, and if it's kind of way out of balance, then maybe we do contact another vendor just to make sure that they're giving us a very competitive price. But my intention would be to award to them, just like I said, that penalty. They've called us and said, "Hey, we have transformers for you. I just don't want to back out on them if we can at all help it."
Yeah.
But that's kind of the route we go.
Yeah.
Ed?
So Chad, did you say you had specific needs for a certain project, customer, something you're trying to order for?
Yeah, we kind of looked at historical usage and kind of what we got now. Like I said, we're looking actually really good right now.
Okay.
So through 2022 and probably way into 2023, we're pretty strong. But you start getting out past that point with all the construction going on, all the subdivisions going in. It only takes, a windstorm or an electrical storm to come through and start knocking some transformers out that you're not accounting for, on top of that as well. So It's mainly kind of looking at historical usage is how we're getting our numbers.
So we're seeing projects being held up with switchgear also. I mean, you don't have the switchgear, you can't open the building.
What I would add, I think, Chad's done a great job keeping us stocked, and we are not holding any projects up.
Good.
Water and electric.
So we want to continue that, right?
Correct. Because I mean, essentially, we're an economic development driver for this community.
Well, I'm ready to vote whenever it's time.
Okay, so any other comments or questions?
Sam, do we need more findings, or are the findings all in the resolution?
I put the findings in the resolution. I'm going to have a couple changes to the resolution that you see in the packet. We were doing quite a dance here yesterday afternoon trying to get this packet material out. So we've made a couple of edits, and I'll add those after I read the title. I'll give you some updates to the one finding, and then talk about one of the resolved actions at the bottom. But no, the findings are in the resolution are intended to be all inclusive.
Okay. Any further discussion? If not, we are looking at resolution number 2022, and what's the document number?
I'll go ahead and read it. It's resolution number 2022-6, a resolution of the City of McMinnville-Acton through its Water and Light Commission approving a contract-specific special procurement for electric transformers. Now, the resolution will be approving in findings sub 8. The resolution that we'll be asking you to approve, finding 8 reads as follows: a contract-specific class special procurement with Genpack will promote the public interest in a manner that could not practicably be realized by complying with requirements that are applicable under ORS 279B 055, 279B 060, 279B 065, or 279B 070, or other rules adopted thereunder. That finding relates to those are the standard procurement rules for both formal and informal bidding, both through a bid and a proposal process. So that's what the exception is being taken from. Then also a change has been made in the final resolved, be it further resolved at the bottom of the resolution, that this one-time approval of contract-specific special procurement expires without further action if not exercised by December 31st, 2023, rather than July 1st, to allow us the entire calendar year to act. I'll also just note that this authorization is limited by the Commission's expenditure authority and your budget process, your estimate of expenses. So this is the limitation on expenditures is limited by your adopted budgets in whichever fiscal year you're operating in.
Okay, so we have had resolution 2022-6 by title only, and then there has been some amendment to that resolution in section 8 and the last paragraph, as Sam has indicated and read to us. And so any further discussion about the document? Okay. Trina, would you poll the commission?
I think we need a motion.
Okay.
I so move to adopt a resolution
Okay. As amended?
as amended.
Okay.
Second.
It's been moved by Ed and seconded by Tom. So Trina, could you poll the commission?
Yes, Mayor Hill,
Yes.
Commissioner Tinkersley,
Yes.
Commissioner Gormley,
Yes.
Commissioner Christensen,
Yes.
Commissioner Tate.
Yes.
Resolution number 2022-6 passes unanimously. Thank you for Sam and staff and Chad for all your work and being on top of this, because this could have taken us by surprise later down the road. John, anything else that we need to go over this morning?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. It is 7:53, and I will go ahead and adjourn our special meeting this morning. Again, thank you,
all.
everyone.
Have a
Thank
safe
you,
day.
Chad.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.